Hello, my name is Michael Kennedy, and I'm going to share a little bit about what it took for me to get out of the institution. I went in the institution when I was 8 years old. I came out when I was 21, so I'm not good with math, so we'll have to figure that out. Because I don't think institutions are for anyone, and also I don't think that the institution was for me because I really didn't have anybody to communicate with other than staff that knew me well and also staff that worked with me. I was what the key thing was, one key thing was my voice, and I was not gonna just stand and listen to what people told me, made comments like, oh, I would never get out. I was always gonna be back in the institution when I was, because of my mouth, because I was very outspoken. And I'll tell you what my mom always told everybody, that my mouth was never in my pocket, and she's right because I never let that stand in my way. So I made it very clear that I was, even though I, even though I didn't show that I was afraid in some ways, but I didn't let them know that because I feel that if they knew that, then they would make it worse for me. So it was key because we had a lot of directors that were in charge of the institutions. So what I did is I went down and I introduced myself, and I actually friended them because I really knew that deep down inside that they would have to be some of my allies to help me get out. And also I friended the most of the psychologists because I had IQ tests all the time and all that stuff, and they realized that um, they made comments that they didn't understand why I was in there because I passed all the IQ tests. They gave it to me in certain ways that I passed them all, and all three of them said I don't belong here, and they came to meetings and stuff and advocated with me on my behalf to help me get out of there. And the start of that was to move into an ICF, which was also funded by Medicaid with the department in the community, which Carol and Sally and Bernice advocated to start. Shortly after that, I worked, as you know, at the Center on Human Policy on a self-advocacy project. I was co-chair of the self-advocacy project. I didn't have any control of the institution at all. Matter of fact, in the institution, basically, when the decisions were being made, I was basically shoved in the back room and they all made all the decisions for me. In lack of a better word, I wasn't called at the table when the decisions about my life were being made. Oh, I wouldn't have it any other way. And now I'm also, I direct my own staff, hire, fire, and screen when I need to. And I'm, I also now own my own house. I actually have owned two houses. And I've also pushed the envelope as far as, having a relationship and being married almost 24 years. And that was always said that would never happen for me either, that I would always end up back in the institution, and I would and the most recent thing that I've done about 3 years ago is I wrote my autobiography, and I'm in the process of writing a second piece to that.
Great. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Well, we decided to buy our own house because the place that we were renting in Beeville, every time you signed the lease, they raised your rent at least by $20. So we decided that we'd be better off buying our own house and having a lot more space. So my wife and I know this couple that we know. Um, they said that there was a house on Craigslist that we should take a look at. So my wife Lori looked at the pictures online, and she went we went to go look at it, and she really liked it. So we contacted the realtor that was on the Century 21 sign, and we talked to him, and he was related to the lady that was selling the house, so we talked to her too, and so that's how we started the process. And the realtor walked us through the process of how to, buying the house and stuff. We didn't go through the home of your own project or anything like that. We were able to just go through a regular realtor, and we had a realtor from before when we had our very first house. So we called her up, and then she, went with us and met with the other realtor. And the thing that was interesting about this house, our second house, is that it's a ranch and it was already accessible already. So we didn't have to do that. And then, so our realtor went with us and did the tour and stuff. So it was good that we did that. And then, well, you got to deal with the upkeep. You got to deal with the school tax, and you got to deal with, the just your property tax. You have to be responsible for all that stuff. We basically do that ourselves. And we have one of our neighbors that lives across the street from us that we made very good friends with. He does all our maintenance stuff on our house. Yes. Yes. We, yeah. Actually, he's in the process of finishing redoing our ramp in the front, and he's doing a wonderful job. We realize it's a lot of work, but we wouldn't have it any other way because, we figured that once it's paid off and stuff, it's our own space. You don't have neighbors up above you. You don't have we have one young man that lives in our finished part of our basement because it's not all finished off, but he's there for support purposes.
But he also provides some support.
Yes, yes. Especially when the weather is bad and people are sick.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.